There is a specific weight that nobody talks about. It is not the weight of your luggage. It is not the 50 pounds allowed by the airline, stuffed to the brim with spices and photographs and clothes that will soon look out of place in a new world. It is the weight of a door closing. I want you to go back to that moment. You know the one. The moment you walked through security at the airport. You turned around for one last wave. You saw your mother crying. You saw your father trying to look strong. You saw your friends, your street, your entire history standing on the other side of a glass partition. And you knew, deep down in your gut, that even if you came back, you would never really come back. The person walking through that metal detector was dying, and a new person was about to be born. A person with an accent. A person with a visa number. A person who would spend the rest of their life chasing a horizon that keeps moving. We are told that immigration is a physical journey. It is a flight. It is a border crossing. It is moving from point A to point B. But that is a lie. Immigration is a spiritual surgery. It is the act of ripping yourself out of the soil that grew you and trying to replant your roots in concrete. Tonight, we are not going to talk about politics. We are not going to talk about policies or borders. We are going to talk about the Odyssey. We are going to talk about the silence in the grocery store, the terror of the mailbox, and the strange, haunting realization that you have become a ghost in your own life. If you have ever felt like you are living in two worlds but belong to neither, if you have ever felt the specific ache of a WhatsApp call across 12 time zones, then this is your story. Please hit that subscribe button. We are building a home here for everyone who left theirs behind. Let's talk about the arrival. The movies make it look like a victory. You land. You see the Statue of Liberty or the Hollywood sign. The music swells. But the reality is usually a fluorescent-lit room in customs. It is standing in a line for 3 hours, clutching a folder of documents that prove you have a right to exist. It is the fear that the officer will find a mistake, a typo, and send you back. And then you step out. The first thing that hits you is the smell. Every country has a smell. America smells like air conditioning and gasoline and something sweet, like corn syrup. Then the scale. Do you remember your first trip to an American supermarket? You walked in looking for milk or bread, and you were confronted with the wall of choice. 50 types of cereal, 20 types of milk, aisles that stretched for miles. For a local, this is convenience. For an immigrant, this is paralyzed shock. It is the first signal that you are now a small fish in a terrifyingly big ocean. You stand there holding a box of Cheerios, feeling an overwhelming sense of loneliness. Because back home, you knew the shopkeeper. Back home, there was one type of bread and it was good. Here, you are anonymous. You are a consumer number. This is the honeymoon phase, but it is a strange one. Everything is shiny. The roads are wide. The internet is fast. You take photos to send back home. Look, you say, look how big the pizza is. Look how clean the streets are. You are performing the role of the successful immigrant. You want them to be proud. You don't tell them that you are sleeping on a mattress on the floor. You don't tell them that you cried in the shower because you couldn't figure out how to pay the electric bill. You sell the dream while you live the struggle. And then comes the silence. This is the hardest part to explain to people who have never moved. In your home country, you were funny. You were witty. You could make a joke that would have the whole room laughing. You could debate politics. You could quote poetry. You had a personality that was painted in high-definition color. Then you land in America, and suddenly you are broadcasting in black and white. It is not just the language barrier. Even if you speak perfect English, you don't speak the asterisk culture. You don't get the reference to the TV show from the 90s. You don't understand the sarcasm. So you become quiet, you smile and nod, you become the nice person, the quiet person. People think you are shy, they think you are simple. They don't know that inside your head a symphony is playing. They don't know that in your native tongue you are a poet. It is a form of amputation. You have to cut off the most complex parts of your personality just to fit into the box of the immigrant. You trade your wit for survival. And then there is the name. The moment you decide to shorten your name, the moment you decide to anglicize it, you tell yourself, it's just easier for them. I don't want to correct them 10 times. So Siddharth becomes Seed, Xiang becomes Sean, Alejandro becomes Alex. It seems like a small thing, a convenience. But every time you introduce yourself with that fake name, you are killing a tiny piece of your history. You are telling the world, my identity is an inconvenience to you, so I will shrink it. You are paying the entrance fee to America with your own name. Let's talk about the mailbox. For an American, the mailbox is for bills and junk mail. For an immigrant, the mailbox is an altar of terror. You know the feeling. Walking home, your heart rate rising as you approach the metal box. Is it there? The letter from USCIS. The letter from the Department of Homeland Security. One letter can change your entire destiny. One letter can say welcome. One letter can say leave. You live your life in increments of validity. I am safe for 3 years. I am safe for 6 months. You cannot buy a house because you don't know if you'll be here next year. You cannot fully commit to a relationship because you might be deported. You are living in the waiting room. While your American friends are planning their careers 5 years out, you are just trying to survive until October 1st. You are just trying to win the lottery. This creates a specific type of anxiety, a low-level hum that never goes away. It is the feeling of being a guest who has stayed too long at a party, afraid that the host is about to tap you on the shoulder and ask you to leave. You work twice as hard. You never complain. You are the perfect employee. Because you know that for you, losing a job isn't just unemployment, it is exile. The golden handcuffs we talked about in another video. For you, they are steel. Your visa is tied to your employer. Your existence is tied to your productivity. You are not free. You are indentured to the dream. But the hardest part isn't the struggle here. It is the drift from there. The first time you go back home, that is the heartbreak. You spend years dreaming of it. You save the money. You buy the gifts, the iPhones, the chocolates, the sneakers. You pack the suitcases. You get on the plane. You are so excited. I am going home. You land, you smell the air, the dust, the rain, the spices. You hug your mother, you cry. But then a few days pass, and you realize something terrifying. The home you missed doesn't exist anymore. Your friends have moved on. They have inside jokes you don't understand. They have married people you don't know. The street you grew up on has been paved over. The shop you loved is gone. And worse, you have changed. You find yourself complaining about the traffic. You find yourself annoyed that the internet is slow. You find yourself missing the convenience of America. Your family looks at you differently. You are the American now. They treat you like a guest. They don't argue with you the same way. There is a distance, a politeness. You realize with a sinking feeling that you don't fit here anymore. But you don't fully fit in America either. You are stuck in the middle. You are a creature of the Atlantic Ocean. You belong to the flight path, not the landing. This is the third culture, the ghost life. You are physically present in New York or Houston or Chicago, but your digital soul is living in Mumbai or Lagos or Manila. You live on WhatsApp. Your emotional life is governed by a glowing screen. You attend weddings on FaceTime, trying to see the bride through a pixelated connection. You attend funerals on Zoom, muted, crying alone in your apartment, while your family grieves together thousands of miles away. This is the happy tax. The money you send home, the Western Union transfers. You are the provider, you are the success story. But you pay for it with absence. You miss the birthdays. You miss the gray hairs appearing on your father's head. You miss the moment your niece learns to walk. You trade the moments for the money, and deep down, you wonder if it was a fair trade. And then comes the next generation, the ultimate paradox. You moved for them. You sacrificed your comfort, your language, your proximity to your parents, all so that your children could have a better life. And they do. They grow up American, they speak perfect English. They are confident, they are free. But they are foreigners to you. They roll their eyes when you speak your language. They don't want to eat the traditional food. They don't understand why you are so frugal. They don't understand the fear of the mailbox. They are the fruit of your labor, but they grew on a different tree. You look at them and you feel a mix of pride and grief. You succeeded. You made them American. But in doing so, you severed the chain. The history stops with you. They will never truly know who you were before you got on that plane. They will never know the version of you that was funny and loud and at home. They only know the tired, hard-working version of you that exists here. So is it worth it? This is the question that keeps the immigrant awake at 3 a.m. Was it worth the loneliness? Was it worth the humiliation of the accent? Was it worth the missed funerals? If you look at the bank account, maybe. If you look at the safety, maybe. But the real answer lies in the horizon. The immigrant is a specific type of human, a human who refused to accept the hand they were dealt. Most people stay where they are planted. They live and die within 20 miles of their birthplace. There is beauty in that. There is deep root. But you chose the wind. You chose to rewrite your destiny. You chose to challenge the lottery of birth. There is a heroism in that, a quiet, tragic heroism. You have expanded your soul. You have seen the world from two different angles. You have the ability to code switch, to translate, to bridge worlds. You have a resilience that the native-born will never understand. You know what it takes to build a life from scratch, with nothing but a suitcase and a dream. You have conquered the unknown. The pain you feel, the drift, the loneliness, is the growing pain of a spirit that is becoming too large for one geography. You are not homeless. You are multi-home. You are the bridge. And bridges are walked upon. Bridges bear the weight, but bridges connect things that would otherwise be forever separate. There is a beautiful Japanese concept called kintsugi. It is the art of repairing broken pottery with gold. They believe that the cracks make the bowl more beautiful, more valuable. You are a kintsugi human. You have been broken by the journey. You have been cracked by the distance. But you have filled those cracks with gold, with resilience, with new experiences, with a strength that only comes from leaving everything you know. So the next time you feel like a ghost, the next time you feel like you don't belong, remember why you left. You didn't leave just for money. You left to find out how big you could be. You chased the horizon. And the thing about the horizon is that you can never catch it. It always moves. But the chasing changes you. The chasing makes you who you are. You are the Odyssey. You are the epic poem. America is built on the backs of ghosts like you, the silent ones, the ones who smile in the grocery store but cry in the shower, the ones who carry 2 time zones in their hearts. Do not let anyone tell you that you don't belong. You belong to the journey, and the journey is infinite. I want you to take a breath, a real breath, not the shallow breath of the anxious guest, but the deep breath of the owner. You paid for this life. You paid for it with your past. You paid for it with your tears. So own it. Stand tall in the supermarket. Speak your name with your accent and do not apologize. Eat your food with pride. Tell your story. Because if you don't tell it, the silence wins, and you have been silent for too long. If this letter to the immigrant soul touched that place in your heart that still lives across the ocean, please hit that like button. It helps us find the others who are drifting. And share this with your family. Share it with the parents who left or the children who don't understand. Bridge the gap. Hit subscribe. We are going to keep telling the stories that the world ignores. Let me know in the comments, what is the one thing you miss most about the place you came from? Is it the food, the rain, or just the person you used to be? I'll see you on the horizon.